Hey everybody, how are you doing? It's your girl Nell and welcome to Simply Nell's Tiny Studio. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. As you see, I'm here in the tiny studio, so I'm still busy trying to get some things done. I set up my bookshelf here. Um, it has some of my important things for school and also some really important things that I like to keep in the tiny studio next to me because I do a lot of journaling, I do a lot of writing, and I also have some things going on with my spiritual journey, my spiritual practice. So I keep a lot of those books right here where I am. It's easily accessible to me. And because this is my space, this is my tiny studio, and this is where I do a lot of vibing. A lot of vibing with the universe and as well as vibing with you. So how are you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. I'm having a great Wednesday. And as I said, I'm in a tiny studio, but I'm also doing some things. I'm busy trying to renovate. I took the tams down and I'm thinking I'm going to patch up the wall behind me. And my husband was talking about maybe repainting it or something of that nature. So that would be something that we'll be discussing this weekend about repainting and doing certain things here in the tiny studio. But I bought some curtains. Now I was going to put up some purple curtains and I'm still going back and forth on whether or not I'm going to do it. But I bought some gray curtains from Target. Oh, excuse me. I bought these gray blackout curtains from Target maybe about 2.5 weeks ago. And so I'm thinking about using these gray um, blackout curtains. So like I said, I'm thinking about doing this, but I don't know if I'm gonna maybe put some purple shears up as well. And I've already purchased a new curtain rod and some blinds. And I'm really thinking about taking those blinds back and maybe getting some wooden blinds. I don't know. But what I really dislike about blinds in themselves is that they're filthy and that they get dusty very often. And if you don't stay on top of those blinds, they will develop this nasty, cakey, dusty film on them that's very hard to get off, because I've been experiencing that with these blinds up here. And sometimes I don't really be on top of the tiny studio as far as dusting as I should. But and when that has happened, it has been very difficult to clean those blinds. So I'm really thinking about taking the blinds that I purchased back and maybe getting some wooden blinds. Maybe that'd be better because these plastic blinds are ridiculous. So that's what's happening here in the tiny studio. I'm busy trying to get things ready to go into the fall. And we basically entered the fall season anyway, but I'm just trying to get the house settled into fall. My spiritual journey or my spiritual practice, we're coming into Samhain, the season of Samhain. So it's time to really start reflecting on the things that we have accomplished, or that my household has accomplished this year of 2024. It's time for us to become relaxed and become settled and just begin to go through that period where we're reflecting on what's happened throughout the year, and that we begin to just relax, go into a hibernating, or a hibernating type of spirit. And I'm trying to bring the household together so that we can all, the house included, so that we can all begin to relax and hibernate spiritually and physically. And when I say physically hibernate, I already want my home. My home is already a place of refuge, a place of rest, and a place of peace. However, when I mean hibernating, in the sense, in a spiritual sense, in the spiritual path or my journey, when I mean hibernate, I mean we begin to rest and cool down and begin to Yes, because when you think about hibernating, you're thinking of, and when I thought of hibernating, when I lived in Michigan, hibernating, you just go into yourself, you go into your household because it's cold outside and it's snowing, all that stuff. And you're just creating an atmosphere in your home where you can be enveloped with warmth, you can relax, you can, put to bed the stresses and the strains of the world. And that's what I mean by hibernating. That's what I mean when I say that we're going into a season where it's time to hibernate. It's time to relax. It's time to reflect. It's time to become introverted and to really reflect on the things that we have accomplished this year of 2024 and the things that we have yet to accomplish in 2024. And that's what that's what my journey is about right now. And that's what I'm gathering my household and getting my household prepared to do. My daughter, the tiny studio assistant, is renovating her room and, doing some things, pushing herself into another space, which is wonderful, Uh, I want the children that live at home with me, I want them to look at their bedrooms as an extension of themselves and as their own apartments, as their own apartments. And where they can go into and feel refreshed and get rejuvenated, and they can explore their goals and dreams and things of that nature. And I want their bedrooms for them to be their own launching pads. My son still my youngest son lives at home. He's 25, and the tiny studio assistant is 20. So they are turning their rooms into their own launching pads. And I think that is wonderful. That's a good thing. So I have this package sitting over here on the side of me, and that is a package that I received from Hobby Lobby. And I went on a mini yarn haul, so to speak. And when I do yarn hauls, my channel, when I first started, I was doing yarn hauls because that was something that, most crocheter and knitters did. Whenever there's a sale or something at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or Joann's, people would go in and buy enormous amounts of yarn and then come back on to YouTube and tell us what they bought. But my yarn haul, I started thinking differently about yarn hauls. And that's when I realized that, I believe in sustainability. And I believe in trying my best not to add unintentional waste to the earth, or, to the planet, to the universe, and also to my personal space. Because when you go and when I was doing these yarn hauls, I would buy all kinds of yarn because it was on sale. It would be like for $1. When Hobby Lobby has to me, the best yarn sales. So, I would buy yarn that I had never used before, specialty yarns, just stock up on everything, And like I say often here, the tiny studio is tiny. So at one point, if you recall, I had a shelving unit here that was filled with yarn. Just yarn. All of this was yarn. And all of what you do not see on the other side of the tiny studio, there were bins of yarn, okay? And then inside the tiny studio closet, there were bins upon baskets of yarn. And so I realized, this is ridiculous. The tiny studio is tiny. I cannot continue to, do these yarn hauls and then I have no place to put the yarn. That's crazy. And so I had to, rethink or rewire the way I think about yarn and rewire or adjust my thinking when it comes to crafting, when it comes to crocheting. I love to crochet. Crochet is my jam. However, having just stacks and stacks and stacks of yarn collecting dust just sitting there looking beautiful as an aesthetic for the tiny studio, you know, eventually that played out for me. It really did. It played out. So Hobby Lobby had a 30% off all yarn sale online. So I decided I was going to jump in on that. And my methodology for this yarn haul, it had to do mostly with projects that I needed to complete. And that's where I focus on the yarn haul. And then as far as my company, Blue Lotus Hill Designs, I want to begin to make prototypes of scarves, wintry scarves that, you know, every year I would, you know, create and sell. And I stopped around 2022. I think my last the last customers I had was in 2022. So I'm really trying to revamp all of my business. I'm revamping the business. So that is what my methodology was for this yarn haul, to get started making prototypes for my business. And then number two, I need the yarn to complete projects that I had already started. Okay, so let's get to that yarn. Oh, and there was another reason why I purchased the yarn that I did, is because I have some things that I want to do around the house. And so you'll see that in a second. Okay, so first of all, I got this 3-pack of Yarn Bee True Colors yarn. And I really like this yarn. I like it a lot. And the reason why I got some more of this Yarn Bee True Colors yarn is because I need to finish a project that I started on for my daughter-in-law, or my future daughter-in-law. And hi, Janae. And my son, Kyle. Hey, Kyfro. And they commissioned me to make a throw for their couch. And so this is the throw. And they commissioned me to make this about 2 years ago. It's been almost it has been 2 years. I started on it in 2022, probably the spring of 2022. And then I started running out of yarn. And so this is the throw so far. So I needed more yarn. I needed more yarn. And so I went to Hobby Lobby and I bought more yarn, but I didn't check my stash. I didn't check my project bag to see exactly what color I needed. And so I ended up buying more of this gray or silver yarn when I really needed more of the black yarn. And so I went ahead and finally purchased the True Colors Yarn Bee yarn. And this is a bulky yarn. It is, let me see. You have to use a size 9 crochet hook. And it is as I said, it's a bulky yarn. I'm looking for all that information on here. But anyhow, it is am I going to really say it again? It's a bulky yarn. And you have to use a size 9mm crochet hook or a size MN hook. So I finally got the yarn. And so I will be working on that this week. I will be working on this throw for my son and my future daughter-in-law's couch. It's kind of big already, as you can see. So now I have all the yarn that I need for this project. And I will start working on that. Put it back in my project bag. I have a whole project bag for this. Now here is the yarn that I bought previously. This is that goes with that. It's the True Colors. Can you see that? And what color is this? Because I like this gray. It's called gray. I was calling it platinum, but it's gray. And I really like this yarn, and I like it. It reminds me of Lion Brand. I think that's the name of it. It reminds me of Lion Brand homespun yarn. So it's really soft. The definition is really good when you work it up. So but I like the way it feels more than I like the way Lion Brand feels. But you know, maybe I'm a yarn snob, which is probably it. But I think I bought some more of this because I'm going to make some scarves with it. I think I did. I have to look in the bag and find out. But let me go ahead and put all of this yarn into my project bag. Here's the project bag. Put that yarn in there so I can get started on that project, right? Right. Okay, and what else do I have in this bag? Oh, here's something else I purchased that I love. I purchased 2 skeins of Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel in my favorite colorway of Petit Force Galore. I told you I'm a yarn snob, but this is the Petit Force Galore colorway of Yarn Bee of Sugar Wheel. And I love this yarn. I love this colorway. I tried working with the other patterns of Sugar Wheel, but I didn't really like it as much. It didn't hit me hard as much as the Petit Force Galore. And what I did with I put it away. What I've been doing with this yarn specifically is I've been making granny squares out of it because I plan to make a granny square blanket with this yarn. And where did I want to show you. Just a second. I'll give you a view of the outdoors while I look for this. Hold on a second. Just talk amongst yourselves. Oh boy, I don't think I'm gonna find it either. Oh, I found it. Let me see. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I have like 2 big bags full of granny squares because I have ideas about different blankets and things I want to make. So I keep all my granny squares in these covered plastic containers, which belong to what? Comforters, duvet covers, duvet inserts, whatever. You can always reuse things. You should never throw away things that you can possibly use or repurpose for something else. So let me show you what I've been doing with the Petit Force Galore yarn. Okay, so here are some of the granny squares that I have made. I'm dropping granny squares that I have made from this yarn. So here are some of the granny squares. Okay, here's some gray. So I've used the Petit Fours Galore yarn to make granny squares. So I've made, I want to say maybe about 50 to 100 already. And so I'm going to get started making more of the granny squares. It's just something about this particular yarn that I really, really like. And that just really turns me on in a crazy way. Yeah, like here's one. And there's the color. So I really, really get a kick out of the way with the granny squares, the way, you know, as you continue to work through this cake, how things begin to change colors. And I like that. No, I would not invest in, what's the name of that place? What's the name of that? I Heart Yarn, or you know that yarn that's at the Walmart. It's called, it's not great value, but it's like, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. But anyhow, they have a granny square yarn, where the granny square yarn, you know, the yarn is caked, or yeah, caked or rolled in a certain way, so as that when you as you crochet your granny square, then it's going to automatically create a certain looking granny square based on a color formulation of that granny square yarn. So my thing is, I didn't really like that, because, you know, if you fuck it up, you fuck it up. It's not going to look right. And, you know, if you're off by a certain, you know, a certain amount of stitches or what have you, then, you know, the whole yarn is ruined. The whole project is ruined, because you have to be, you know, you have to stick to the way the yarn has been formulated for you to get that granny square looking the way that the yarn manufacturer, or that particular yarn manufacturer, suggests that your granny square look. Because if you don't, it's gonna your granny square is gonna look whack, and then the color change is going to be, you know, not cool. So that is, you know, I just say I'll just do it my way, and that's what I've been doing. So I bought 2 beautiful cakes of the upside down beautiful cakes of the Petit Fours Galore. And you know what, it reminds me of Petit Fours. I used to buy I used to have a catalog. I think it was the Franklin Colony catalog. This is something like that. And they had all those wonderful treats for the holidays. And one of the things that they had that I absolutely loved was the Petit Fours. And the Petit Fours I used to get on a regular basis were formulated like this. And I'm guessing that this was the icing. Yeah, the icing was, you know, the green. And then the cake was actually the pink, and, you know, this gray and the blue and all of that. Those are some good treats from the Franklin Colony. Was that the name of it? Franklin Colony? I think it was. I need to look them up. But anyhow, that's what I've been doing. As I say, I keep all of my granny squares in this container, in this packaging, and I have another one just like it somewhere around here. But let me slip these into there so I can pull it out later. Let me put that right there, because I like to keep things organized, because as I said before, the tiny studio is what it's tiny, and now I have project bags that I keep everything in. If I have yarn and it goes to a certain project, that's exactly where it's going to be headed, into that project bag. It seems like I'm not going to find that other kick of yarn just yet, so let me put this aside. All right, so here is the Yarn Bee, another pack of Yarn Bee yarn that I purchased from Hobby Lobby on the 30% off sale. And it is in the color of ivory. Now I bought this, and is it ivory? Yes, the color is ivory, and it's the True Colors brand from Yarn Bee. I purchased that, and let's see. Uh-oh, this is coming loose. I purchased 3 skeins of the ivory True Colors, and I purchased 3 skeins of the charcoal. It's jacked up. The charcoal True Colors yarn. I bought 3 of these because my plan is to make the prototypes for the scarves that I'll be selling this wintry season. So I'll be selling heavy scarves, and then I'm also going to be selling my bestseller scarf, which are my beaded scarves. So this is one. So I still have to get the yarn for my beaded scarves. This is my one of my Prince scarves because it has the numbers that Prince loved the most, which is what, 7. And so this is the beaded scarf. I've worn this in other videos, and so but anyhow, this will be hanging up somewhere in the tiny studio because these are the prototypes and what I'll be selling. And what happens is if a customer will see one of my scarves online on social media, or perhaps hanging up here in the tiny studio, and then they'll place an order. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be opening the lines. I'm going to be opening the shop November 1st. November 1. I'll be opening up the shop, and I'll be accepting orders. But this is one of the scarves. Here is the scarf again in a different design, but it's still a beaded scarf. See how that dust blowing up? This is a beaded scarf. And then I have another one floating around here. So I'm going to be putting these up in the tiny studio. So if you would like to order, get ready for the winter if you live in the Midwest, or if you even in California, or let's say in the South, you know, it gets cold down here too. So, you know, a scarf, there's nothing wrong with keeping your chest protected and covered, you know. So anyhow, I bought 3 charcoal skeins, and it has 3 ivories, and that should be enough to make 2 or 3 scarves right off the bat. And then I already have some yarn left over from 2 years ago in my storage that are designated for, you know, scarves. Okay. So I found, let me get the other skein out so I see it. So here's the second skein of, or cake of yarn from Sugar Wheel. It's the Petit Fours Galore. Can you see that? There it is. Petit Fours Galore. So let me put that into that project bag. All right, so next on the list is that I purchased on the 30% sale at Hobby Lobby is the Scrubology Scrub It yarns. So I have one in red, and I have one in purple. Yes. So you may say, Neil, what are you going to do with the Scrubology yarn? Well, what I plan to do is, besides make prototypes for to sell. What I also plan to do with the red one is my kitchen. Well, I like to do a lot of feng shui. So this is the red is a good fire symbol in feng shui. The color red is a fire symbol. So I have some tiles. I have some mirrors in the kitchen that is red. And I'm going to be making some scrubbies for the kitchen. So, you know, to scrub down pots, skillets. And because the scrub, you know, it has it's abrasive. It's not super harsh. I mean, hard or abrasive, but it has enough material in its fiber to be abrasive, you know, to be abrasive enough to clean your sink area, to clean down your stove, you know, to clean, you know, the dishes or what have you. And so that is why I purchased this to make scrubbies for the kitchen. And then this purple one is scrubbies for my bathroom. And I meant to order the white ones, the rice scrubbies, because my husband loves them because he likes to clean his face with them. So I think that I'm going to have to order some more scrubbies, but this time order it in white as well for my husband because he likes, you know, when I make the white, you know, hand towels, and he likes the white scrubbies to clean his face. So I will be doing that, and I believe that is my yarn haul. That is everything. Here is another True Colors yarn for my for some scarves I'll be making very soon. Getting ready for opening up the Blue Lotus Hill Designs online boutique. And that is it. I bought 2 of the scrubbies, 2 of the red, and then I got 2 of the purple. So as I go along in my crocheting journey, crafting journey, then I'll let you know exactly how things are going with that. But I believe that's everything. That is everything. So with this bag, what I like to do with mailers, I end up using them as containers for garbage. So I get, you know, 2 uses out of them. The first use is, you know, the fact that it came because it was packaged by the manufacturer. And then the second use is I'm going to use this as a container or liner in my tiny studio trash bin. And I'm going to use it to dispose of things that I have in the tiny studio that's trash. Okay, so here is my granny square bag, and I have both cakes of yarn placed inside of here so that when I get started, I can do my thing, right? Yes. So let me put this back. And let's see. I'm really about trying to keep things as clean as possible, you know, as organized as possible, because it doesn't take long to really become unorganized, especially when it comes to when you're dealing with yarn and all of that stuff. It don't take much. Okay, so what is in this bag? This is another project bag that has my spring equinox things in it. So I think that at this time I'm going to put my Scrubology, my scrubbers, into this container here, because I like to work on scrubbies at night when I'm in the bed, because, you know, it's just it starts off with a continuous circle. So since I'm, you know, that's really mindless crocheting to me. So I'll probably work on that at night in the bed. The scrubby tried to get away. Okay. And you may remember this. This was my first cowl that I ever made. I love this cowl. It's so heavy, and I use different leftover yarn that I had in my I want to call it my scrap pile, my scrap yarn pile from leftover yarn from other projects. And so I designed this cowl. I really like this. Wearable designs. It reminds me of my grandmother and how my grandmother, used to she used to make tams too. She made tams, scarves, gloves, all of those things. It's so funny how, you end up following in your people's footsteps. Isn't that interesting? Some things is more intuitive in nature, but other things, when you're a child and you grow up watching, you know, you grow up watching those in your family who have wisdom and other things going on, and you watch them move through life, and you begin to soak that in, and you may not run to it um as you get out here or you go out into the world, but eventually those things start to come back to you and you embrace them. Because I never thought that I would be, I never thought that I would start a crochet business. I never thought that I would be crocheting, out of the sheer necessity and desire to craft. I never thought that, you know. Um, also with my jewelry making business, I never thought that I would be a jewelry designer and that I would design things and people would love it and they would buy it. I never thought that. It wasn't something that was a top thing on my list of to do items. It just wasn't that. But the older I get, the more I realize that I am an artist. And so I've been doing creative things and, for a very, very long time. I mean, I used to have a baking business, which reminds me, when I get off the line with you, I have to get my sourdough started. So, I've been doing a lot of things when it comes to being an artist for so many years, and I never embraced it as artistry because I was, under the impression that art is something like back there that my late friend Roland Benberry used to do. He was an artist, but he was the one that taught me that art is many things. It's not just, painting. Even though I do paint, I paint as well, but it's not just that. Art can consist of many different mediums. And he helped open my eyes to that. And I transitioned, or we rewired the way I think, or the way I used to think. I rewired that so that now I understand that this tiny studio that I'm in, I could be doing many different things and they all fall under the category of art. So it could be crocheting. It could be decorating handbags. It could be designing jewelry and creating jewelry. It could be what else? It could be embroidering. Embroidery. It could be anything. It could be anything that I use my hands for. Even with baking, it could be that too. Because as I said before, I'm creating a baking station for the tiny studio assistant and I in our kitchen. So I have a whole section that's dedicated to just baking. That's an art form too, and she's really good at that. She is really good at baking. She baked quiches and pies and cakes and cupcakes, and now she's on to bread. So she's a really great great budding baker, and I'm really proud of her. So that's why I say that this is the time of year where you want to really relax and begin to hibernate and become an introvert, so to speak. What I mean by that is you want to begin to do some reflecting on your life, your year, the things that you've accomplished, the things that you still want to accomplish, because we still have what, November, December, November, December, January, February, March. We still have 5 more months left in this year. So you still have a chance to accomplish the things that you want to. And I know you may be saying, girl, no, we don't. We have what? 2 more months until the new year. But no, not me, not on the path that I'm on. My new year doesn't begin until the spring. So I still have 5 months to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish, and to right now reflect on what I haven't accomplished, reflect on the things that I have accomplished, reflect on the goals that I made, that I have fulfilled, and now begin to put into a razor sharp focus the things that I really want to accomplish for these next 5 months. And that is what I'm doing right now. I'm getting ready to open up the business November 1. I have some really great jewelry designs that ties into my spirituality, my spiritual walk. I have things I'm getting ready to work on for as far as that is concerned, and that goes into the November 1 pile. So I'm doing some things, and I'm taking it, one step at a time. I'm being very methodical about it, very slow about it, and oh, I forgot to say that, I really been thinking about what we were talking about last week about doing like a November blitz, where every day in November I come on social media, and I come on not social media, I come on YouTube, or come into the tiny studio and let's fill you in about what I'm doing and how's it going for me. And I'm really still mulling that around, because the semester ends for me early December. Things begin to wrap up for me after Thanksgiving. So early December is where they're wrapping up for me right now. So, going into the month of November, which is my birthday month, going into the month of November and then actually deciding to do a video every day, that is going to be challenging. But I think it would be something for me to try out to see if I could do that. To do a whole November blitz thing, in celebration of my birthday. And included in that, perhaps I'll do some soul to soul videos, soul to soul connection videos. Talk a little bit about things that are of interest, that may be of interest to you, about me, as far as concerning menopause, being married for 30, 36, 35 years, what that's been like, the journey that my family has been on with my husband, who was diagnosed with male breast cancer back in 2022, what that was like, dealing with a lot of things. I'm going through a transitional phase right now myself, and I don't really talk a lot about it, but I'm going through my own changes and things like that, because we all go through changes, and I'm going through some changes right now. So I'm just getting my bearings. Am I getting my bearings? No, I'm just trying to put my life in some type of creative order, because I already have a professional life as a journalist and as a writer. I have that life over there, but then I also have the side of me that is the spiritual, metaphysical side. That's something that I consciously do and walk every day. Then I have the other side, my crafting, my business side, the other business side, that I would love for someday to just, do that. I mean, I would just love to just, let art be the source of the main or primary source of my income, you know. But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is that I'm at an age where I'm transitioning in many different ways, evolving and still evolving and growing and maturing in many different ways. And what I would like to do is I would like to see all aspects of me finally coming together as a whole. And it's starting to happen. It's starting to happen, but it's a slow process. It's a slow process because it takes a lot of self-reflection. It takes a lot of truth telling to myself. And most importantly, it takes being able to admit certain things about myself, admit the failures and shortcomings that I have created for myself. It means admitting that at times I have been my own worst enemy. I have been my own roadblock, you know. So it takes a lot of emotional and mental work, you know, and that's what I'm in the process of doing. And eventually the different parts of me will become the entire part, the entire nail. It's just a process, you know. It's just a process. And anyone who tells you that it's not, and that you can just say boom, wake up one day and you're all things to everybody, it don't work like that. And why would you want to be all things to everybody anyway? All right, so I'm gonna hop off of here because I need to put these scarves away, these beaded scarves away. I need to put my future daughter-in-law's throw back in the project bag because it's sitting on top of the project bag. And then I need to create another project bag for the yarn that I got or that I purchased to make my prototypes for the scarves that I'll be selling this fall or this winter. So thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here in the tiny studio. If you have not already subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go ahead and subscribe and let me know what type of content you would like to see on the channel. Would you like to see more dreadlock videos or episodes? As you see, I have my dreads braided or plaited up. They're completely dry now, but what I've been doing is at night, and this is what I tell a lot of people about, you know, people ask me, how do you keep why is your dreads soft, and why do your dreads smell good, you know, why or how do you keep from washing your hair all the time, and you keep it, you know, you wash every season, you know, which is 4 times a year. How do you do that? And you know, it's for me, it was a evolution per se, but I wash my plaids. I'm probably going to keep them plaited up for another 2-3 weeks, you know, because I like it. I like it. The hot sweats are not as bad as they were because I have my hair plaited up, and since I separated my locks after I wash them and condition them, then I can feel my scalp. I can put my hand inside of here. Remember, I couldn't do that before, but now I can put my fingernails in here, feel the scalp. And so what I do at night is, before I go to bed and put my tam on, I have my conditioning formula, and I just massage them into my plaits. Massage them into my plaits. Make sure I hit the edges, and then I put my tam on, and I'm done for the evening. And for me, what keeps my dreads soft is that I baby them. You know, I'm always putting some type of essential oils and coconut oils and things like that onto my plaits, and I usually do this religiously after I wash them. And then, you know, I leave it be after I finish, and usually it's just a scalp, or the oiling of my scalp and my edges, and then I'm good for another, you know, 4 4 months or so. But what keeps my hair soft to the touch and keeps it smelling good, and it stays looking a certain kind of way, the kind of way that I like, is that I don't put any harsh chemicals in my hair. I don't put any shampoos in there. I don't put any over-the-counter conditioners. I don't put any leave-in conditioners in my hair. I don't do any of those things. I don't use any spritzes. I don't use uh, any of those formulas, because what they do is they make your hair hard, because the product build up. All those chemicals begin to build up on your hair, begin to build up onto your locks. And that's what makes your locks, hard to the touch. My locks are soft and they smell good. And that's what I do. That's why I don't use Suave or any of those things on my locks. I don't do that. I just use Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap. That's it. And I make my own hot oil treatments with essential oils, and I make my own conditioner with plant-based oils and a little essential oil, and that's it. And that's how you keep your hair healthy. That's how you keep your locks soft and smelling good. That is the secret. Okay, well, I'm going to head off of here. I was just looking at my face. My face is getting smaller but bigger, if that makes sense. Smaller but bigger. I'm on a weight loss journey, so I've probably lost maybe about, God, I don't even want to tell you. If I told you how much weight I've lost within this last year, this last 2 years almost, you will probably fall out. But just think about it. Go back to my earlier videos and you'll see how puffy my face was, and then now it's streamlined, and I still have a ways to go on this weight loss journey, but I'm gonna get there. I'm excited, and the hubby's excited. He said, oh my goodness, he said, the kids are going to see you. They're going to see you the way I saw you when I first met you, when you were 19. Yeah, I was a svelte young lady. Okay, so I am out of here, and I have things I got to do. I know that there are things that you need to do, and I really appreciate your support. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time here in the Tiny Studio. Bye bye.